Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
And now, for your listening pleasure, it's the Brum Picture Show, brought to you by Brum Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Brum Picture Show, the film show brought to you by Birmingham-based community cinema collective Screen B14. And if you can believe it, it's award season once again. That's right, it's that time of year when the film industry pats itself on the back and its members exchange golden statuettes to a seemingly arbitrary selection of films that have been deemed worthy of judgment by a mysterious cabal of faceless movie elites.
Woohoo!
Woo! Joining me, as always, is our very own industry elite and an award-winning filmmaker in herself and our Oscars expert. Frankly, she's the most enthusiastic supporter of the award ceremony, the Oscars, that I know. So how's it going, Nadine?
Well, I did correctly predict Moonlight would win that one year.
Yeah.
So I think I am an expert. I'll take that.
I think you got a few predictions right last year as well.
Yeah. We'll see how well I did with the BAFTAs.
Yes.
But I am looking forward to it.
Yeah. And yes, I suppose, well, this is kind of stepping on your local events section at the end of the show, but I believe the Mockingbird Cinema are going to be live streaming the Oscar ceremony, aren't they?
Yeah. Late. I think it's until 4 or 3.
Yeah, until 4 in the morning. So, if you want to dress up in tuxedos and whatnot.
It sounds so much fun.
So, yes. So, it's a special award season-y episode. So, we're going to be going through the Oscar nominations and making our own predictions and whatnot. And, of course, most importantly of all, giving out our very own Brum Picture Show Awards, or the Brummies.
Yes, I was going to say, people have been calling them that.
Oh, have they?
We didn't start that.
What
that was
people?
Just, like how the Academy Awards are called the Oscars.
Yeah, that's true.
Colloquially.
Yeah.
Our Brum Picture Show Awards.
Wow, they've taken off.
The people named it that.
Well, that is very heartwarming that the people have such an interest in our awards. But I must say, looking around the studio, I'm quite depressed because remember how we gave out all of those Brummies last year to Martin Scorsese, most famously, but also, people like Cillian Murphy, Bradley Cooper, and they're all still here. These Brum Picture Show Awards, not one of them, not even Bradley Cooper, who, frankly, should have been grateful.
But most aggressively sincere. Yeah. I don't know why he wouldn't want to come in person and collect that.
Exactly. So, frankly, I'm not sure we've got any more room in here for this year's Brum Picture Show Awards.
Can we just scratch out the names and put the new ones on?
That's probably the most efficient way of going about things. But some might say that this is a pointless endeavour, but I don't know. I think it's important that we celebrate. We celebrate.
The uncelebrated.
Exactly. So yes, it's going to be a very exciting episode indeed. But first of all, it is time for the news section. Anything catch your eye in the news this week?
Speaking of Bradley Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
He's only going to make his camera operator debut with Is This Thing On? Starring Laura Dern.
Oh. What?
So he will be directing, producing, appearing in, and serving as B camera operator for what IndieWire calls the Meta Hollywood movie.
Okay.
So is there any other jobs you'd like to steal, Bradley?
Well, I thought all proper directors hold the camera occasionally.
No.
So why didn't he do any camera holding on Maestro?
That's not a thing, Paul.
That is, like Ridley Scott.
Yeah, because Ridley Scott shot thousands of hours of commercials.
Steven Soderbergh.
Okay,
your favourite?
It's not even common for cinematographers to be camera operators. In fact, there's often quite strict rules, from the old unions on this kind of thing. So,
so do you feel like Bradley Cooper is putting in some kind of contingency plan? Do you think he knows he's going to be out of directing work soon. He's like, oh, I better learn how to operate a camera, so at least they'll still let me on film sets.
No, I think he's a megalomaniac. He's wearing too many hats. He needs to be told, you're doing too many things.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, desperate.
Just chill out, mate.
Wear one hat or two hats maximum, but 5 hats is just too many hats.
Too many.
And, with the advent of AI and the slow, turnover of films since the strikes, do we really need less jobs? But no, it's a bit much, I think.
Well,
especially because he has no background in that. So, I mean, I'm sure he's trained himself up. I'm sure he'll be very adequate. It's interesting that he's B camera operator, not A camera operator.
he doesn't want to get too ahead of himself.
He's like, oh, no, not A camera.
And he'll be a boom mic operator on the next film.
Boom operator. Anyway.
Okay. But I suppose the big news this week is that the BAFTAs has happened. So, yes, as of recording, the BAFTAs happened last night. And my first question, any celebrity dogs, Nadine?
No.
Not one.
But we did have some celebrity gods, which is an anagram of dogs.
What gods were they?
Helen Mirren.
Okay, yeah.
Brian Cox.
Okay.
And, that guy, he's in everything. Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name.
Right.
But there was another guy.
God tier, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing, though. I mean, I like gods and everything, but dogs are better. Of course, the context for this is last year at the BAFTAs, they had Bark Ruffalo, which of course led to many dog puns being discussed for weeks and weeks on the show.
It's one of our best and most longest running features.
Yeah. But no, none of that. So what did happen at the BAFTAs, Nadine?
Wow. I'll go through the winners.
Uh-huh.
But I'll say, so as you know, I'm a fan of the app Letterboxd. We're not sponsored by them yet.
No.
But they had a BAFTA film ballot card that you could download.
Oh.
So I marked in all the ones that I thought would win. And I only got 6 right. So it was some of it was wishful thinking, but there were some surprises. I mean, the biggest surprise of the night, best film, Conclave.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And we both saw Conclave and we both enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And, to some degree, it's not a huge surprise because the BAFTAs do always skew British.
Mm.
And Conclave also won Best British Film. Despite being set in Italy and directed by a German, it is a British film.
Yeah.
One of my favourite stories about Conclave is that it really kicked off at the Midlands Arts Centre between 2 old blokes because one of them was reading the subtitles out loud.
I didn't know that was the context of it, actually. That's, wow, okay, interesting.
But it is quite a controversial film. I was reading about it. Some religious publications love it and are for it. Some Catholic ones, a bit more progressive. Some people hate this film because of its progressive politics and its view on the Catholic Church, or its portrayal, I should say, of the Catholic Church. So, that was the big shock of the night. Yeah. Another shocker, Best Actress, Mikey Madison.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we thought, I thought...
Well, it's not that shocking. She was nominated.
Well, yes, everyone who won was nominated. There were no write-ins. Nadine O'Mahony didn't win for Rush, unfortunately. Oh. No matter how many times I wrote it on my ballot. I'm not actually a voting member. Oh. But I do get to watch the screeners, which is pretty cool. So I have watched a lot of these. Kneecap won. So outstanding debut by a British director, writer or producer went to Rich Pepiat of Kneecap. Yeah. I'm sure the British government are trying to claw back that award as we speak. And Emilia Perez won film not in the English language, which has been another film that's been quite controversial. Yes. But that we discussed the controversies behind that in the last episode, so I won't go too much into that. But Brady Corbet did win Best Director for The Brutalist, though. Original screenplay went to A Real Pain. Adapted screenplay to Conclave yet again. Leading actor Adrian Brody, which wasn't a massive surprise. Zoe Saldana won Best Supporting Actress. Kieran Culkin won Best Supporting Actor. Original score The Brutalist. Casting for Honora. Cinematography for The Brutalist. Production design Wicked. And some other awards.
Interesting.
And Warwick Davis also got a special award. And, you know, who doesn't love Warwick Davis? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I think Wiki, the Ewok, is just so iconic. Yeah. And his roles in the Harry Potter films and in other Star Wars films, and of course Willow. So it's fantastic to see him at the awards.
Good for him.
Yeah, so an interesting night.
Yeah, so a few surprises, but
yeah,
you know. So what do you think this means for the Oscars? Because you say this is often an indicator for what's going to happen.
Well, yes, intentionally, the BAFTAs were brought forward because they used to happen after the Oscars. So they're intentionally made to be a predictor of the Oscars now. People hope, you know, that it will excite people to think, oh, what will win? We'll watch the BAFTA. So as I say, I think some of these we'll see replicated in the Oscars, but the BAFTAs always skew British. So I'm personally not expecting Conclave to win Best Picture. And I feel that Demi might win the Best Actress nod for Oscars, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes. You are listening to the Brum Picture Show on Brum Radio, and today we are having a very special awards season episode. So the Oscars are coming up. We're going to have a little run through of the nominations and make our own predictions and give out Brum Picture Show Awards where we feel appropriate. So
hang on a second, Paul.
Yep.
I've got some breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we have to predict the Oscars.
Go on.
Rory's just messaged me.
Rory?
Yeah, you know how Rory went to Hollywood?
Right, yes. Sorry. Listeners, Rory is a former presenter of the Brum Picture Show who abandoned us to make it big in Hollywood.
Paul hasn't forgiven him yet, but you might forgive him after this.
Well, I'm intrigued.
I've not had a chance to listen to it yet, but he reckons he knows who the winners are.
What?
I'm just going to play this voice message.
So listeners, this is breaking news from disgraced former presenter of the Brum Picture Show, Rory Rawson.
Paul, Nadine, it's me, Rory. I did what you said, Paul. I broke into the Academy headquarters in Beverly Hills. I'm suspended upside down by a cable. There are lasers an inch from either side of my temples. God, you don't know the awful, degrading things I had to do to get here. First Ryanair, then EasyJet. I'll send you the invoice, Paul. Right, where's this awards card? Ah, yeah, here it is. Take that, Scorsese, disrespecting the Brummies, and you, Paul Schrader. Who's the hack now? Okay. First, the Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role is Adele Dazeem. Oh no.
What just happened?
Oh my God. Oh, it sounds like Rory might have gotten himself into some trouble there.
I feel bad about playing that live on the radio now.
Okay, well...
Maybe I should have listened to it first.
Yeah, so we may have just heard...
I'm sure he'll be okay. He's been in worse scrapes.
Yeah, let's not bother trying to get in touch, though.
But he seemed to suggest that it was your idea, Paul.
No.
Are you sure?
No. I did not set Rory up to die.
This may come up in legal proceedings.
Yeah.
But that's quite...
Well, there we go. So, I mean, that was ultimately useless, though. He didn't even... Yeah.
Should we make our predictions?
Yeah, I suppose so.
We've got to fill the rest of the airtime somehow.
There you go. Well, yes. So, anyway, Best Picture nominations for the Oscars. So obviously we'll have discussed most of these films at length on the show before, but there's a few here that we haven't really discussed. And I'll be honest, there's a couple I haven't seen, but between Nadine and I, we have seen everything. So first up on the list, Nadine's favourite film, Anora. There we go. So Nadine, you famously walked out halfway through Anora, maybe not even halfway through.
I was thinking about it today, and I can't think of another film that I've walked out of at all.
And you never went back to finish it, did you?
To be fair, I suppose the second half of the film could be so amazing that it makes up for the first half. And I know it does does shift in tone.
Yeah, very much so.
And the end is supposed to be quite,
Yeah, that's another shift in tone. Yeah, it has a couple of shifts.
Very shifty.
It's a very shifty film.
I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, we gathered that.
Wasn't for me.
No.
But lots and lots of people disagree.
Yes, many do, including the Academy, apparently. So, I mean, I get why it's been nominated, because Sean Baker is a bit of an art house darling, and, people like his films, and he's a very kind of Oscar-y filmmaker, I suppose. But Anora does seem like a weird one for me, in that it's essentially a farcical sex comedy. It's quite a silly film for the most part. But yes, it does have some very serious and poignant moments. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it does. But yeah, it's certainly picked up a lot of traction, hasn't it?
Would you say it was one of the best pictures, or will we get into that later?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it is worthier than a lot of films on this list. Yeah. Well, not a lot, but
okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, I put it up there, but equally, when I was watching it, I didn't go, "Oh, Oscars ahoy," because it is ultimately a farce and a romp, but with an edge. But
yeah, but don't listen to me, listeners. If you've seen this and it looks like something you'd be interested in, give it a go.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely out of place on this Best Picture nominations list. The Brutalist very much seems designed to be on this list, so I'm quite happy about that. I mean, we discussed that at length on the last episode.
On the AI episode, yes. If you want to hear our deep dive into The Brutalist, do tune into that episode. But yeah, I've settled my feelings a little bit since watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a well-crafted film. I think, I totally understand why it's got its nomination. Great performances, great cinematography, great soundtrack. Shot on VistaVision.
Yes.
Not Panavision, as I said in the AI episode. I correct myself. Which is a special kind of, filmmaking that hasn't been seen for a while.
Yeah. Did anyone email us to tell us if they also saw a purple glow around all the characters? Okay.
No, so we're not sure if that was a projection malfunction or a filmmaking one.
Cool. So next on the list is something that Nadine and I only managed to catch up on yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
But that is A Complete Unknown with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what you just said. And they let him get away with that.
Yeah. Rory Rosen. He's an evil cat. So yes, A Complete Unknown, of course. The Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothée Chalamet playing dress up.
Timothée
Chalamet.
Yeah.
And yes, this kind of makes sense as a Best Picture runner in many ways, but I mean, it is a very safe film.
I have to say, we did talk a bit of smack about this in the last episode, I think, being on the list, but having watched it now, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is the Best Picture, but great performances, great cinematography, actual good lighting for the most part, which seems to be a dying art in cinema these days. Wasn't as polished and squeaky clean as I thought it would be. Not as gritty as some people want. Bearing in mind, I'm not a massive Dylan fan, so I was just appreciating it as a film in its own right. I didn't know what was true and what was made up, so I was just going on what was on screen. Really funny. To the point that it almost tipped into being a comedy.
Yeah. I think there were lots of bits that were clearly meant to be funny, but then there was just something inherently absurd about Timothée Chalamet playing Bob Dylan and just wearing all those costumes and stuff and just being him that I couldn't help but just see Timothée Chalamet. At no point did I say Dylan. So like a lot of because I laughed at a lot of it, but mainly I was kind of just laughing at bless that Timothée, and I love Timothée Chalamet, but I don't know, something that took me a little bit to get over is just I just thought silly.
I completely disagree.
Yeah.
I thought it was intentionally funny for the most part. I can't think of any moments that weren't meant to be funny. I think he just came across as really dry because Dylan is so inexpressive and kind of monotone and has that weird voice. A lot of the stuff he says just sounds really dry and funny, like a lot of his responses to people. And I think it was intentional. And, it moved along at a nice pace, but it also let it breathe. And I think, is it Monica Barbaro, who played Joan Baez, was amazing as well. And the Sylvie character played by
Elle Fanning
was also fun. I mean, all the performances were great.
Yeah.
So I really just enjoyed it. It was a good solid picture, deserving to be nominated.
Yeah. Having said that, I would say A Complete Unknown could also have been the title of Better Man in the United States, because no one knows who Robbie Williams is in the States. And honestly, I would prefer Better Man to be on the Best Picture nominations list. It's been snubbed by the Academy as far as I'm concerned, because, when I was watching Timothée Chalamet being Bob Dylan, all I could see was Timothée Chalamet. But when I watched that monkey be Robbie Williams, all I could see was Robbie Williams' soul.
So do you think Bob Dylan should have been played by some kind of animal?
Yeah.
What animal do you think would be Bob Dylan?
A weasel. He's got
I'd say more like a vole.
A pointy face. Yeah, a vole. They're not worlds apart, are they?
Well, weasels are much longer.
That's true. But I'm quite serious. Better Man should have been in Oscar contention.
Well, we'll see if it wins a Brummie.
It better had. Wait, we're in control of that. It will. Okay. But yes, next on the list is Conclave, which we both enjoyed very much, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we went to see it. But yes, at no point when I was watching it did it occur to me that it would, be up for Best Picture, really. It was just like, it seemed like just a solid kind of Sunday afternoon drama.
Well, it's interesting because thinking of A Complete Unknown and Conclave, they're both, skewing towards the older viewer.
Yeah.
And in a way, I
quite
think
traditional.
That's positive because, cinema for many years has been geared towards the youth market, teens and young men. And now we're getting some of the older people are coming back to the cinemas now to watch films like Conclave and A Complete Unknown, and yet they're still enjoyable for people. Young whippersnappers like us can enjoy them too.
Yeah.
I will say with Conclave, I wasn't a huge fan of... I thought the cinematography was great. I thought the lighting was rubbish and the colour grading was rubbish.
It was dark, wasn't it?
It was so murky.
Yeah.
And I also wanted more drama and more messiness and cattiness. But great cast, obviously a good script.
Yeah.
Decent film.
Yeah, very decent. But yeah, I know what you mean. I thought it was going to turn into like a whodunit kind of murder mystery for a bit, and that doesn't happen.
Or does it?
Or does it? Well, I mean, yeah. It might
no
happen.
spoilers.
But yes, moving on, because we've got a lot to get through here. Dune Part 2. Woo! Now, people have been saying it's not going to win much because they're going to do a Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson, and they'll wait till the third installment to give Denis Villeneuve and the Dune films all of the Oscars.
What if there isn't a third one?
Well, that's definitely happening. Well, then that will be unfortunate.
That will be unfortunate.
I don't think Denis Villeneuve dying will stop a third Dune film being made. Okay. Maybe it might. I don't know.
Maybe we can AI it.
But then also people have been saying that Dune Messiah, like people who've read the books, they're like, that's not going to be a fun Oscar-winning film. Like that's going to be completely different, and so maybe Dune will wind up getting nothing.
I'm not too bothered.
No.
Timothy's got A Complete Unknown as well. He's doing really well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
that's the thing. It's funny. I don't really see Paul Atreides as Timothée Chalamet, but I do see Bob Dylan as Timothée Chalamet.
I thought it was. I felt the opposite, but it's interesting.
Okay, interesting. So next on the list, Emilia Perez. We don't need to. I think we made our opinions clear.
Well, I started watching it and then got distracted, so I don't have very strong opinions on it, not having watched that much of it. But you did not like it.
I hated it.
And we discussed that in the last episode.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think I cut out a lot of my rant from last week's episode, but safe to say I didn't like it. And obviously there's been a lot of controversy with it. So it'll be interesting to see how it does. Although, of course, as we say, it's had some success at the BAFTAs. So it seems that Carla Sofia Gascon gate has not completely written off the film's chances. So yes, we'll see. Next on the list is I'm Still Here. And I must say, I think it's very unusual that a 15-year-old mockumentary starring Joaquin Phoenix about his burgeoning rap career has been... No,
Paul, that's not what it is.
Oh.
It's actually quite a serious drama about a real-life Brazilian true crime style political government... I can't even go in. I don't want to spoil it.
So nothing to do with Joaquin Phoenix being a rapper?
No.
Bryce.
I actually watched the 2024 I'm Still Here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm the best qualified to talk about this.
Okay, very quickly, should it win?
No.
Okay.
That was too...
That was too quick. Okay, give me a slightly more nuanced opinion.
I found it a little slow. Now, I didn't realise when I watched it, it's based on a true story. So I think that's part of it. They didn't want to sensationalise it. Something very, dramatic happens early on in the picture, but then not terribly much happens afterwards. And we get a couple of time jumps, a lot like The Brutalist. And I wasn't a fan of that. It felt like it came to a natural conclusion at a point. Then we jump forward sometime. Then we jump forward again. Again, I understand this is based on a true story, so perhaps it just wanted to give that broader context of the after effects of this event. But I just felt it could have been shorter and tighter and would have told that story well. So yeah, that was my take on it. But, well, beautifully shot, well acted, very serious, interesting subject matter, but not my favourite film of the past award season.
Very good. As I say, I've not seen that, and nor have I seen Nickel Boys, which is next on the list.
I've seen it.
Should it win?
My issue with this, it's completely shot from POV.
Oh, Hardcore Henry style.
Yeah, well, not quite,
okay.
but I don't think that works. I think it's actually distances you from the characters. I think you do also need to see the characters' faces and reactions, which we see occasionally because the POV switches from one character to another. There are some amazing moments that are really effective. So it deals with race in America, two young black men who are sent to this sort of reform school and the abuses they suffer there. It's not based on true events, but it's based on a book inspired by real things that have happened. And there are moments that are really effective. For example, when an old white man starts, just poking these young boys sort of in, really disgusting manner. But I think those moments would have been more effective if the POV had been limited. I know that's the whole point of the film. It's something that's carried on throughout the film, but it didn't work for me.
Okay. So that's interesting. It's kind of like, what was it? In a Violent Nature.
Yes.
That was kind of mostly over the shoulder. You see, I thought the weakness of that film was when it moved away from that over the shoulder thing and broke the...
Well, you might have liked it then.
Yeah.
But I saw it with 3 other people. One person loved it. The other 3 of us, we liked it, but we all kind of had similar views. So it depends. I guess it depends how much that use of that device, will affect how you view it. So if that doesn't bother you, you may well enjoy it a lot more than I did.
Very good. And then next we have The Substance, which, has been a surprising one in that horror is often snubbed by the Academy.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you called this a while ago when we were reviewing The Substance. You were like, yeah, it's going to win. It's going to get Oscar nods. And you were like, oh, it's going to be nominated for Best Screenplay because you read out a bit of the screenplay.
Wow.
And here we are. So called
Look at
it.
me.
You called it, Nadine. And yeah, I wish it success. Again, I didn't really at the time think, Oscar stuff, but you did, Nadine. So there we go.
I don't remember any of that, to be honest.
Okay, well, you did.
Because I've taken The Substance and the younger version of me doesn't remember that. But no, I watched it again recently. I did enjoy it at the time. We watched it as a double bill with Strange Darling, which you preferred.
Mm-hmm.
The Substance stuck in my mind more. But having said that, I have a few, little nitpicks with it. I think it is thin on character. I think that's part of her style. But yeah, and I do think the story doesn't quite stretch for the length of time of the film. So
yeah.
I think the story is a little thin, and I think the characterization is a little thin. Visually stunning, and the music and everything, really, yeah. An experience, a roller coaster ride.
Just a very long one.
Yeah, well, it's not even the length. I guess it's more pacing, but yeah.
Well, no, I mean, 2 hours 20 for that story is quite excessive.
A little indulgent, perhaps.
But yeah, but no, it's good. I wish it's success.
Yeah, well crafted, and controversial, exciting. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I'd say is a controversial, but no, I don't know. I've not actually seen it. But
I've seen it as well.
Yeah, last up we have Wicked, which I've not seen, but Nadine.
Well, there is some controversy over Wicked. In the colour grading is quite controversial.
Yes.
Considering it's inspired by The Wizard of Oz, which is one of the most colourful films ever. But they wanted to go for something more realistic. Mm-hmm. What I will say, I know it's a musical and I know lots of people are fans of the musical. I wasn't really aware of that before going to see this, but I was quite surprised that it was basically a high school drama set in the Oz universe. And I don't know that I needed to see that. It was a little bit High School Musical in Oz.
Right.
It does tackle some serious subject matter. I love the message. I think, obviously children and younger people will watch this as well. And I'm all for that. Mm-hmm. But I just, the high school dynamics that we've seen a million times, I didn't need to see that in the world of Oz. So just that, the whole kind of premise didn't really work for me. But if you're a fan of the musical, I think you'll enjoy it. And of course, Defying Gravity, the song that closes the film, is fantastic. And Cynthia Erivo is, phenomenal. So
very good. But yeah, that's what I mean about there maybe being too many nominations for Best Picture, because I do not think Wicked would have wound up on that list if it was, the days when we nominated 5 films.
I disagree because I think it's based on one of the most successful Broadway musicals of all time, and I think that is very Oscars.
Fair enough, but it's an odd one because I think there are lots of things that obviously should have been on this list, as we discussed last week. We both think Luca Guadagnino deserves some love with Challenges and Queer. I mean, of course, Gladiator 2, it's not got any love, but I guess Napoleon.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, exactly, Nosferatu. But yeah, and Napoleon didn't get any love last year. I would have had Kinds of Kindness in there, but I guess Yorgos got all of his love last year. But the thing that stuck out the most is I'd almost kind of forgotten about this, but from last year, the film that most seemed like it was begging for Oscar glory was The Bike Riders.
Really?
Well, it seemed like I didn't particularly love it. I thought
Oscar bait.
But it seemed like that was the Iron Claw of last year or whatever. That seemed proper. Oh, we're going to go for some Oscars here, but no. You don't agree?
No.
Okay.
So what do you think will win then?
Well, I would say The Brutalist. But actually, I think Anora might win Best Picture just because it's also got all the other necessary nominations for a film to win. So it's actually been nominated for editing and stuff like that. And it's a general rule, apparently, is if it's got those nominations alongside it, then it might win.
So you're taking the scientific approach?
I'm taking the scientific approach. But the Brum Picture Show Award, for me, will just go to The Brutalist, boringly enough. But it's, it's but actually Better Man.
Okay.
as a write-in.
We went all over the shop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's some films that I would have loved to have seen on here. Blitz didn't make it at all. I know Rory wasn't a fan, but to be honest, not including Priscilla, which isn't included in this year because that would have been up for last year's awards. It was my favourite film of last year. It really moved me. I think it was well crafted in all departments. The performances were great. There was a dance scene in it shot like no other dance scene I've ever seen before. And yeah, it really resonated with me. I know some people had issues with the script, but yeah, I was just taken along with it. So I would like to have nominated Blitz. I also really enjoyed Nosferatu. And yeah, I agree The Brutalist is a very worthy nominee. But I'm going to go for a writing as well. I'm going to say Blitz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Brum Picture Show goes to two unnominated films.
Yeah.
Better Man and Blitz.
What a combination.
So there we go. You are listening to the Brum Picture Show on Brum Radio. And today, it's the award season episode. That's right. We're going through the Oscar noms, making our predictions, and giving out our own coveted Brum Picture Show awards. So now we're going to be going through the actor and actress nominations. So actor in a leading role, we've got Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo from Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes from Conclave, Sebastian Stan from The Apprentice, and that's it.
Funnily enough, when I predicted the Oscar nominations on my Letterboxd, I got all of the best actors right.
Ooh.
Except I had Sebastian Stan down for his other film, A Different Man.
Oh,
Not to be confused with A Better Man.
No, that's a different man.
So I gave myself a half a point for that.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's still pretty good going.
Who do you think will win?
It's got to be Adrian, hasn't it?
I think it's going to be Adrian.
Yeah.
I have I'd be surprised. He was very raw. He was brilliant in The Brutalist, and it's great. It feels like a comeback role, I think, for him and Felicity Jones, both, Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning performances previously, but seem to have fell off the map a little bit in recent years. So it was great to see such brilliant actors getting really meaty roles, really going for it. And he really took us on that journey with that character. So, yeah, I would be very happy to see Adrian win.
Yeah, and it's a good sign that he picked up the BAFTA, so that means the whole AI controversy of them using Respeecher to affect his Hungarian accent hasn't affected him.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Timothée, like I said, an actor the best actor of his generation.
Yeah.
Well, name another actor of his generation. Male actor.
Andrew Garfield. No, he's about 20 years older, isn't he? I forget how old Andrew Garfield is. He's like 50.
He's got the fountain of youth.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
You can't even think of one.
Can't even think of one young actor.
Yeah, exactly. He's
the only one they've got. Yeah.
Who isn't in a Marvel film.
I know. I love Timothée. It's just, I don't know. It was just something about seeing him be in those silly costumes. It just looked like he was playing dress up. And I think I said to you, I don't think I said it earlier in the show, that I think A Complete Unknown would have been better if they'd cast a complete unknown as Bob Dylan.
Would anyone have went and watched it?
Yes, because people didn't really know who Austin Butler was before the Elvis film, did they?
True.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just felt he was in that film. He was a distracting presence because he has become very he himself is quite legendary. To have him play another legend was just a bit like...
Yeah, but who could relate better to a man who finds sudden fame due to his talents?
Well, that's true.
But
he shouldn't have had to experience that to act it. He's an actor.
Well, he's still relatively young. Not as young as he looks. I think he's pushing 30 now.
Oof.
Old man.
Get a new young person.
But... I don't think it's his time yet. I think we're going to see many more great performances out of him in the future. I think this is just, another nomination for him, but I don't think it'll be a win. Coleman Domingo, I absolutely love. I would love to see him win Best Actor. I watched Sing Sing. I think he does a phenomenal job in that film. It's based on real people. It's based on real events. Apparently, it's not an impersonation of the real life character, of the real life person. He's a lot more Coleman Domingo-y in it, but he does a great job. He's very emotive, and he just seems like a nice person. And it's his time. I'd love to see him get a win, but I don't think he's going to get it. But if he did, I'd be very happy. So
you are predicting Adrian Brody, but you are giving the Brum Picture Show Award to Coleman Domingo?
No.
Oh, go on then.
I'm going to give it to Adrian. I wouldn't be mad if any of these guys won. I think, Ralph Fiennes, we all know he's a great actor. Sebastian Stan, I'm a Sebastian Stan. Right? I love this guy, and I'm really happy to see him get nominated and be in 2 fantastic films of the last season. He's too attractive to play Trump. I'm sorry, I've said it.
Right.
It was distracting.
Okay.
His looks were distracting. He didn't look enough like him, and he didn't sound like him, and that sort of took me out of the film a little.
See, I kind of found Timothée doing the voice quite distracting.
We just day and night, you and me. Opposites.
So there we go. So yeah, I predict Adrian, and I give it to Adrian.
Yeah.
Brum Picture Show Award-wise.
I'm going to do exactly the same.
Oh, bless. Well, there we go. So, actor in a supporting role. Nominees, we have Yura Borisov for Honora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, he was good, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, and I'm putting Denzel Washington in there for Gladiator 2, even though he wasn't nominated.
I was going to say...
Snub.
That would be my writing.
Yeah.
So I agree. So we're going to put Denzel is in the running for this, even though technically he's not.
Yeah.
In the running for a Brummie.
Yeah.
So let's just quickly, who do you think will win?
Actually, I think...
It's a very strong category. No pun on Jeremy.
I mean, Kieran Culkin was really good in A Real Pain.
I didn't see that one.
I think Edward Norton I loved, but in A Complete Unknown, but quite an understated performance. But equally, it's nice to see Edward Norton get to that age where he's starting to play
old men.
I like this. I don't know why I like that, but if anything, it's terrifying. I remember when he was young. Well, not really. So yeah, I don't know.
Guy Pearce
is probably a front runner. Yeah, because out of the ones that have actually been nominated, I personally would give it to Guy Pearce.
I personally would give it to Jeremy Strong, but I haven't seen Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Kieran Culkin will win.
Yeah.
Out of these nominees, I'd choose Jeremy Strong, but we have added in
Denzel from Gladiator 2, because of course we have.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
So
in a very Denzel Washington kind of way.
Well, I'm not even generally... I'm not historically a fan of Denzel Washington. Not that I hate him, but I always found him a bit bland. I don't know, just growing up, I didn't really get him. But I think he's really come into his... I mean, not that he wasn't a fantastic actor, but he's really obviously owns this part and just, is one of the best things in the movie. So yeah, I'd give it to him.
Cool. So our prediction is Guy Pearce, but our Brum Picture Show Award / Brummie goes to Denzel Washington. Woo. Well done, Denzel. Can't wait for you to come down to the studio.
Yeah.
Very good. So actress in a leading role. We have nominees. We have Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
For Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for
Amelia Perez,
Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. What do we reckon?
Fernanda Torres did a fantastic job. A little too subtle, I think, for the Academy.
Yeah.
Cynthia Erivo, I think, she, not only does she act, but she sings as well fantastically. But there's a part 2 to Wicked coming out, and I think we're going to see even more range from her and from that character. So I don't think she'll win. Carla Sofia Gascon, I didn't see Amelia Perez, so I can't judge that at all.
There's no way.
I only watched half of Honora.
I do think Mikey Madison is incredible in Honora. The voice
really irritated me. It's not the accent, because it's the exact same accent as one of the characters has in Pretty Woman, which I love.
Right, okay.
Right, so it's not the accent in itself, but it's her version of the accent.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, it was on some frequency that really just irritated me.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel it was a truthful performance to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people would disagree, but it just didn't do it for me. I would say, I want to see Demi win. Come on, She never thought, it's her comeback. She never thought she'd be up for an Oscar at this age.
Yeah.
We've all thought her career was dead. She's come back fighting.
It seems like the right kind of Oscar narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah. But if I had a write-in, I would write in Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm not saying that she should win, but I think she should have been nominated. I think what she did in Nosferatu was absolutely, I know some people say sometimes it's about most acting and not best acting, but come on, she did a fantastic English accent. When the film called her to be subtle, she was subtle, but she also flung herself about like a mad woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, just for sort of bruises alone, I think she deserves some kind of recognition.
Definitely. I'd be inclined to agree with you on both of those things. Your prediction, Demi Moore, and your writing, Lily Rose Depp. So should we just give Lily a Brum Picture Show Award, shall we? Or you just want us to be nominated?
Just want to meet Lily Rose Depp, don't you? No, I want to give it to Demi.
Okay, cool.
Because she might not win.
All right.
Mikey won the BAFTA, so, it's not...
Right, yeah. All right, I'll give it to Demi as well. There you go, Demi. You got a Brum Picture Show Award. Come and get it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
She's here.
Hey.
She's at the BAFTAs last night.
Oh, yeah. She's in the country.
Yeah, it's not that far. Come on, love. Jump in an Uber.
Get on the train. There you go. So, actress in a supporting role, we have Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and then Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. What do you reckon, Nadine?
Yeah, I mean, all fantastic. I mean, Monica Barbaro, I mentioned her earlier. She's phenomenal. Ariana Grande, great comic timing in Wicked. Very funny. Felicity Jones, I think she's a fantastic actress, and she's from Birmingham.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she's a Brummie.
Really?
Yeah, maybe we should just give her a Brummie for being a Brummie.
Yeah, I was going to give her the Brummie anyway, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she can have two.
Isabella Rossellini, I'd love to see. We're seeing, a lot more love for older women. Could it be possible that having women directors is also reviving the careers of people like Demi and Isabella Rossellini, who should all have been putting out fantastic work for years, but seem to have been forgotten largely. Isabella would be great. Zoe, again, I can't talk about Amelia Perez because I didn't see. I think she's, a great actress generally. And it's nice to see her not painted some colour. Yeah. Green or blue or whatever. But yeah. It's a tough one. Any writings?
Not that I can immediately think of.
I watched the Best Foreign Language film, The Girl with the Needle, and there were some fantastic performances in that. And so apologies if I get the pronunciation wrong, but I think Trine Dierholm as Dagmar was fantastic. Okay. So she's my writing.
Very good.
Again, a mature woman. But yeah, who should win? Should we give it to Felicity?
Let's give it to Felicity. Probably Zoe Saldana will win based on the BAFTAs and I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seems like,
I feel like Isabella's got a chance.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see Isabella.
But no, let's...
they're all fantastic.
We'll give the Brummie to the Brummie.
Yeah.
Felicity Jones.
Hey, she can go meet her family while she's picking it up. She's got a place to stay, so she's got no excuse either.
You are listening to the Brum Picture Show on Brum Radio, and we have been taking a little journey through the Oscar nominations, making some predictions, and giving out our prestigious Brum Picture Show Awards. So, we've been through Best Picture noms and actors and actresses and whatnot, but there's obviously a million others to get through. But most importantly of all, we have Best Camera Operator, Best B Camera Operator. Who's that going to?
Well, it will be Bradley Cooper next year, I imagine.
But yes, so I suppose the biggest award after all of the ones that we've been through so far, it's directing. That's a pretty big deal, isn't it? Director. So, nominated for directing, we have Sean Baker for Honora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, Coralie Fagier for the Substance.
Very French category with Corbet, Fagier, and Audiard.
Yeah, exactly. But no Ridley Scott, no Robert Eggers, no Luca Guadagnino. What are they playing at?
Yeah. Is it really a fair race when some of the best directors didn't make it?
Exactly. Disgraceful. So there we go. And no, of course, no Denis Villeneuve.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so there's... I mean,
that would be too French.
Well, yeah.
Let's put James Mangold in there.
So maybe they should just have 10... yeah, exactly. Maybe they should have 10 nominations for directing as well. I don't know. But no, I don't really think that. Narrow it down, guys. But yes, so I don't know.
I think Corbet will win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Fagier win.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
I would eat my hat. I wonder what the bookies are putting the odds on for
I'd love to see that. You know, there's very few. I'm very disappointed actually with the lack of women directors. Let's just get that out now.
Yeah.
There was some fantastic critically acclaimed films that could have been in this category. Films like All We Imagine As Light. I was surprised that Gia Coppola didn't get a nod. Santosh, I thought, was fantastic. There were lots and lots of films by female filmmakers who could have, I think at least it shows how far we've come along, where it feels like where it feels like one isn't enough.
Yeah.
Because some years it's like, oh, fantastic, a woman. But now it's like, there were lots of great films by women. The First Omen I loved. Yeah. That was another, horror film. And I'm not surprised that didn't get a Best Director nod.
Rose Glass could have been,
But I would have given that a nod. There's some, there's just fantastic films made by women.
Yeah.
And shame on the Academy for not recognising more of them.
Yeah.
I think Corbet.
Yeah.
Though I wouldn't be mad with Mangold, because even though I feel it's a very conventional film, it is a film we're seeing less and less of these days. Just a really solid, well-crafted film of a certain, kind of Spielbergian kind of category.
Yeah.
And I think he's come a long way from Walk the Line. I think it's dramatically better than that film, even though that had fantastic performances in it. But yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he won.
It would be very conventional choice.
But I am kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of I am thinking that Sean Baker and Honora would get to sweep the board for some reason. I don't know why. But The Brutalist might be more likely. But yeah, out of those, I would give it to The Brutalist. What do you reckon, Nadine?
Well, I might give it to Luca.
Oh, okay, as a writing.
Even though it's not in the category.
Well, considering he made
two of
the best films of last year or the year, so it's reasonable.
Yeah, I think I'd give it to Luca.
All right.
But here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I've just created a new category.
Oh, okay, good.
Because Luca isn't in this one.
Yeah.
And it's Best Luca Guadagnino Film, released in 2024.
Yeah.
Written by Justin Kuritzkis and scored by Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, Trenton Atticus. But yes.
Trenton Atticus.
Yeah. Well, I would give it to Challengers.
I would give it to Queer.
There we go.
Oh, we split the vote. He doesn't even win
his own category
that we created for him.
Sorry, Luca. So it's going to
Corbet.
No, Corbet. Okay, very good. So yes, it'll be interesting. So cinematography. This is where we've actually got. Actually, Nosferatu was wound up with a nomination, which I mean, because it's sometimes when that kind of thing happens, you're just like, well, why weren't they nominated for everything else? It was just, if you're going to start nominating a film for some things, I don't know. It's baffling. Nosferatu could have had many more noms than it did.
Do you know what his name is?
Harin Blaschke.
Yarin
Blaschke for Nosferatu. And then we've got Ed Luckman for Maria, which unfortunately I don't think
I haven't
Nadine
seen, and I
arrived
really
in.
wanted to see
It
it.
had a very limited release for some reason. Then Paul Guillaume for Emilia Perez, Greg Fraser for Dune Part 2, Lol Crawley, is that his name? His name's Lol? For that's what I've got written down in front of me anyway. That's what my autocue says, so I'm going to say it. Lol Crawley for The Brutalist. So, I don't know. I think Nadine could go either way here.
No, Yarin Blaschke. My gosh. I mean, he should have won for The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
He's owed one.
Yeah.
But no, I've got to give it to my man.
Yeah.
I think The Brutalist will win, but I'd love my man Yarin to win. But I also thought the cinematography from Queer was fantastic.
It was, yes.
And that was shot on film as well.
So we
And
got
shot in the studio.
So another write-in.
Yeah, so...
There we go. But yes, I think... I mean, it probably will be The Brutalist, won't it? I guess.
Have you got any write-ins?
No. So we're giving cinematography to Yarin.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I think The Brutalist will win. But yes, moving on.
So we talked about my Best Needle Drop nomination earlier. But what about Best Original Score?
Yes, another snub.
Yeah.
Outrageous snub, because as I said many times on the show before, Challenges is one of my favourite scores. Evs. And also the Queer score was gorgeous as well, because it didn't actually, it sounded something like it was quite different for a Trenton Atticus score.
Yeah.
And yes, snubbed.
Absolutely snubbed.
So yes, so that will be my write-in, absolutely. So yes, nominated, we've got Daniel Blumberg for The Brutalist, Volker Bertelmann for Conclave, Clément Ducot and Camille for Emilia Perez, John Powell and Stephen Schwartz for Wicked, and Chris Bowers for The Wild Robot, of all things.
Who should win
Yeah.
the score?
It's a shame. I think the problem with Trenton Atticus is that they're just so prolific that they're just, the Academy are just like, I mean, they score about 3 films a year or something like that. So the Academy is just like, all right, we gave you an Oscar in 2007, that will do. It should go to Daniel Blumberg for The Brutalist, because that's an incredible score, especially when it just merges into more modern sounds and stuff as it kind of gets to the 80s. The way the score just kind of morphs into something else completely, I absolutely loved, and it's just some really interesting stuff going on in it.
Who do you think will win? I think it
don't
could.
know.
You know what? I think it could go to Emilia Perez. I think it could go to Wicked, both being musicals.
Yeah. I don't really remember the score in Conclave. I think there's some strings and stuff maybe.
And I haven't seen The Wild Robot.
No.
So maybe that is the winner.
Maybe.
We'll go for Brutalist will win.
Yeah.
But should win, obviously, Trenton Atticus.
Just
but
for
Again...
Challenges, yeah.
No, for Queer.
For Queer, yes.
Having said that, I love Challenges too. It was like going to a rave.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
So I wouldn't mind. But Trenton Atticus will win. But what they'll win it for is to be decided.
Yes, absolutely. Also, a shout out to the score for The Substance. Also really good.
I love that. Yeah.
Really good. So, that deserves a nod as well. But
for sure.
Who are we to question the Academy? We're the Brum Picture Show, that's right. So anyway, obviously there's a million other categories to go through, but this is
technical ones.
Yeah, we don't have time, and of course you probably have had enough of listening to us. But let's do one last category. What would you like to do as a last category?
So I think let's shine a light on some of the international features. We've had some fantastic ones over the last award season. Nominated, I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Emilia Perez, The Seed of a Sacred Fig, and Flow. I've watched 2 and 2 halves of these. Yeah. I haven't seen Flow. I'm Still Here, I think, has a good chance. The Girl with the Needle, very good film, like I said, very dark. I think Emilia Perez will win. It did win at the BAFTAs. Hasn't swept the board, but I think it will get some wins. Yeah. And I think it will win. I'd like The Girl with the Needle to win out of these, but I would have loved to have seen Santosh or Kneecap.
Yeah, that would be nice to be in there.
Kneecap would have been excellent.
Again, I said this last year. I still find the overlap between Best Picture and Best International a little bit confusing. But hey, whatever. So for me, I'll admit shamefully, now that I found out that I'm Still Here is not the 2010 Joaquin Phoenix mockumentary. The only film out of that list that I've seen is Emilia Perez.
And you didn't like it.
And I hated it. So my Brum Picture Show award goes to anything but Emilia Perez.
Okay. And so what did I say? I'm going to say Santosh.
Okay.
Or Kneecap.
All right, cool.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh no, if I could have a write-in, I'll give it Kneecap as well.
Well, Kneecap.
I really like
then.
that. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm also happy that Wallace and Gromit is going to win the Oscar.
Yeah. And as Kneecap inspired me to learn Irish, of which I'm now fluent.
Yeah.
The lads can come and have a cup and tea.
Cup and tea.
Agaspania. And shukra.
Yeah.
At the Brum Picture Show.
There we go. So yes, there's a million other categories, and I'm sure we would have been right about all of them. Yeah, Nadine, you said you've got some categories of your own to propose?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Most hype.
Most hype.
It's got to be long legs.
Oh, of course. Most over. Yeah. Most hype, long legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Oh, I'd almost block that out.
Yeah.
Hateful. Yeah.
We didn't enjoy that. Biggest troll of the British government goes to Kneecap.
Right, yeah.
They were awarded 14 grand. The British government said they weren't British enough to get it, or they didn't believe in British values, so they took that 14 grand away from them. They won it back and they gave it to charity.
Aww.
And I think that deserves an award in itself.
Well, there we go. Well done, Kneecap.
I feel like this is a very political year for the Oscars. A lot of these films deal very directly with politics. Films like I'm Still Here, which is about, Brazilian politics in the 70s. Then we've got The Apprentice, which is very relevant to today. The Brutalist, it talks about Israel. There's just lots. So I just think, that was interesting.
Yeah. So yes, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I hope there's some celebrity dogs at the Oscars this year. Yes.
And I hope we hear back from Rory.
I hope we hear,
at least for the sake of his loved ones.
Yeah, I do hope he's all right.
Yeah.
But also serves him right for fleeing to LA. So there we go.
But yeah, if any celebrities want to come and collect their awards, Oz Perkins, anybody... Bradley Cooper, you can come and get yours from last year. It's still here.
Yeah, and you, Marty.
I'm still here. Yeah. The awards are still here.
And listeners, if you want to join in with the debate, email us your own predictions at pictureshow@brumradio.com.
Or your own writings. I'd love to see what categories you think should be awarded. Do we need a best stunt category? Do we need a best casting actor category? Should male and female actors be lumped into one? Give us your thoughts.
Yes. Interact with us. Give us content.
Yes.
That's right. That's about all we've got time for on this week's show. But we've just got time for Nadine's roundup of local events.
Well, as Paul mentioned, the Mockingbird will be hosting an Oscars party on Sunday, March 2nd. Yes, that's when the Oscars will be on. There'll be big screens, live stream, themed cocktails, movie quiz, and an Oscar predictions game. The tickets are free with a 95p booking fee. So do check out mockingbird.com. I'd love to be there. And if I can drag myself away from work, I will be there. Speaking of Screen B14, we'll be teaming up with the Mockingbird and the Flatpack Film Festival to show hundreds of beavers with a Q&A at the Mockingbird. Now, the 26th of February screening has sold out, but you will be able to see Ryland and hundreds of beavers on the 28th. There's still some tickets available to that one, so do nab them while you can. On the 15th of March, we'll be showing Night on Earth by Jim Jarmusch at the Heath Bookshop in Kings Heath. So do check out our socials at Screen B14 for that. And on the 27th of March, we've still got a few tickets left to Metropolis with live score, at Hare and Hounds with Snacks by Blowwater in Kings Heath. And on the 14th of April, I'm really excited for this. We've got a 4K screening of Just Another Girl on the IRT at the Mockingbird Cinema. A classic film from the 90s that you need to see.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that, Nadine. Exciting stuff coming up as always. Well, that's it from us this week. Do be sure to join us next time on the Brum Picture Show. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me, Paul.
It's goodbye from me, Nadine.
It's goodbye from me.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to The Brum Picture Show, a Screen B14 production for Brum Radio. Tune in next time for more film fun, and don't forget to email us at pictureshow@brumradio.com. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
What are those things that the Punch and Judy people have? You know, like the weird...
The thing he had in the film.
No, like, it's more like, what's that other thing called?
The whistle slide. Not
a whistle slide. The other thing, like when they do the Punch and Judy voice.
What the... I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's what his voice sounds like.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you need to go and
look
look
what
up
you're talking about.
When Punch talks, he talks like that. They put something in. What's that
like
thing?
A kazoo?
Like a kazoo.
Right.
Like a kazoo.
I'm still gonna kazoo in my mouth.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.